There's a lot of mysteries in the video game world, and a lot of them, if not all, the answers aren't known to the public. But, working here at the VG Files, I have access to some information the public doesn't. We've recently declassified some of this information, and I thought I could share it with you. I've picked out what I can of the mysteries, and we're going to take a look at them. But first, let's talk about these mysteries. Mysteries in video games have been around for a long time. Even back in the 80s, there was always this talk of a mystical Polybius arcade machine which was put in by the government. I can confirm we didn't do that. There was also the rumors that Berserk, an arcade machine with little yellow men, would kill people who played it. But we can also confirm that that wasn't true. It was just some coincidences. But some mysteries go farther. They go deeper into the code. And back in the 90s, there was a lot that you couldn't confirm because we couldn't look into the code. That's where our first mystery comes in. The San Andreas Bigfoot. Most people were pretty sure that the rumor started from a credit to Bigfoot in the credits of San Andreas. And from that point, it just kept going. You had people who fully believed that you looked in the woods of San Andreas in certain areas, you would find Bigfoot. Now, of course, this was before it was easy to just open up the code of the game and look into it. And even with that, the internet wasn't widespread enough. So this one got passed around playgrounds and schools, things like that. The reason why it was so interesting is because there was a lot of stuff in San Andreas that kind of helped back up the possibility, such as the ghost cars. There were chances of, in the hills, a car that would just start driving down the hill until it just stopped with no one in it. That was, however, confirmed to be a faulty placing of a car that would fall down the hill. It wasn't supposed to spawn in that area, but it did and rolled. But because this existed, it opened up the possibilities for anything existing, which led to Bigfoot. People searched and searched, and there's even some images out there of Bigfoot in San Andreas, but these mostly come from mods. However, there's a lot of people who really thought he was out there. But the simple thing is, he's not. Bigfoot in San Andreas is confirmed to not exist, at least in the official release. He's nowhere in the source code. However, one of the creators of the game did confirm that at one point Bigfoot was in it. In one of the unreleased betas, he was supposed to be in it, hence the hints to him. But either they ran out of time to finish coding him, or they just decided they didn't want him in there, and now Bigfoot is lost forever. There are a lot of different mysteries like these. Ones that are hidden in plain sight. That leads us to our next one. The Galaxy 2 Hell Valley Sky Trees. This is an interesting little thing in Super Mario Galaxy 2. In Shiverburn Galaxy, if you look up at the sky and zoom in, you can see these ominous figures looking down at you. In the game's files, these figures are called the Hell Valley Sky Trees, hence the name. Hell Valley refers to a place in Japan, Hell Valley, which is famous for its geothermal hotspots. And there's a lot of trees around there. Now, in Japan, there is this spirit called the Kadama. They are these tree spirits who watch over you and things like that. And they look oddly close to the Hell Valley Sky Trees. Now, this is just a theory, but it would make sense. Some mysteries in the video game world leave the video game and go out into the world. This one is called the Madden Curse. I'm sure you've heard of it. Now, you see, starting with Madden 1999, they started putting players onto the covers, just to honor them if they were doing great. And this has gone on ever since. However, something very strange has been happening. If a player is put onto the cover of Madden, their next game year, they are somehow injured and not able to play for the rest of the year. And this happens, without fail, almost every time. There's only been about 4 times where it hasn't happened, one of which is arguable. The thing about the Madden Curse, though, is it's not the fact that it's on the cover. All it takes is the word Madden on your chest, and somehow you will sprain an ankle or hurt your arm and not be able to play for the rest of the season. It says so right here. I'm just relaying the message. That's really all we know about the Madden Curse. It exists. It happens. But is it really just a coincidence? Or is there something paranormal going on here? That's for you to find out. Because I don't know. I don't. It doesn't say. Now, all these mysteries are interesting to say the least, but none of them have the same impact that this one does. The one that has been looked into for 7 years without any answers. The Mount Chiliad mystery in GTA 5. I remember myself looking into this. I actually distinctly remember taking my GTA 5 map, putting it up on my wall, and circling locations that I'd been looking up and seeing and trying to go there. Figure out this mystery myself. It was something that captured my imagination. For those of you who don't know, on Mount Chiliad in GTA 5, there's a mural, and on this mural, there's this weird diagram of things inside the mountain. A jetpack, an alien spaceship, an egg, all these things with X's and almost like a map inside the mountain to tell you where to go. And for years, people tried to find a way into the mountain. Maybe if you place it on top of the map, it'll show where you have to go, and once you unlock these, then you can get into the mountain and finally see it. But nothing. Until GTA Online got a new update. The Doomsday Heist. And finally, Mount Chiliad was open. In this heist, as a grand finale, you're going through Mount Chiliad, going through all these rooms with all these Easter eggs of the things. You get a jetpack at the end. You fight a villain on the jetpack shooting missiles. It's something to behold. But for some reason, it feels empty. It's cool, none to say the least, and it's definitely a rewarding mission. It's very hard to play, and once you beat it, you feel good. But it almost feels like something's missing. There's got to be more to the puzzle. And many think there is. The Mount Chiliad mystery is not 100% solved. And there's a lot of theories pertaining to what it could lead to, or why it didn't get finished. One of which is that most of the content in Mount Chiliad's mystery just got saved for GTA Online. Hence why the Doomsday Heist came out and allowed you in, instead of a single-player campaign. Which is a little upsetting, seeing as the entirety of the single-player audience are the ones who had been looking into this mystery for 7 years. Personally, I think that the Mount Chiliad mystery is probably the most interesting and impactful mysteries in all video game history, with the amount of attention it drew and the lengthy time it took to look into it, and yet it's still not done. It is something to behold.